Mahmoud, are you here to properly, maybe it's just outside, to properly introduce the IESECers? There he is. There he is, ready to sprint up with a typical IESEC energy. And he will have the honor of introducing the IESECers this morning. Lucy? This contact. And Amanotis, Lucy, please.
Well, friends, we have already talked about IESEC, what they really mean to us, what fantastic things we can also achieve ourselves in association with them. We have here with us Lucy Simons, who is responsible for external relations of IESEC International, based in Rotterdam. They are, as you know, well, no, I won't tell anything about what they are. She will say it herself. She's a great person. She facilitated my participation at their International Congress a few weeks ago. It was a fantastic opportunity, not only because of what they are, but also because of everything that Lucy did. Thank you very much and very welcome to EBBF.
For such a wonderful introduction to EBBF, and thank you for this morning's reflective moment. I think it's very beautiful to start the day in such a powerful and quiet way. Unfortunately, I'm afraid though my presentation is a bit louder, so I'll start with our introduction. I don't actually need to speak. If you can just take that up there, lovely. So if we can have the music on. Loud enough. Good morning. Excellent. Oh, dear me. So can you cover that?
Yes.
Excellent. So I thought then EBBF is one of the organisations that we're lucky enough to have a long relationship, 12 years in fact. So is this on? Lovely. So there's members of the audience here that perhaps know my organisation better than myself. So I thought that I might give a quick quiz and see if there were particular members who might have some information. So you actually just saw this information, but how many members does IESEC have?
32.
Well done. Daniel's looked at the last one. 32, exactly. That's marvellous. So over 30,000 members. And how many countries are we lucky enough to be present in?
100.
Excellent. Over 100 countries and territories. So IESEC, as we know, is present in places such as Taiwan. We're present in across countries. And at last count, I believe it's 106. Algeria and Cambodia are our latest expansions. Excellent. And how many internships did we provide for our young members last year?
1 million.
I wish 7,000. With your help, we can do 7,000. No, I wish. 1,100 universities. So you saw the 5,000. So this is one of the key. This is one of the key contributions of IESEC in providing leadership for the world, providing these exchange experiences. And the reason though I've come up today is not to provide an infomercial for my organisation or to wow you with the Dandy Warhols at 9 a.m. in the morning, who was the artist of the song, but it's essentially really to share IESEC's perspective on the future and to bring a perspective of young people, which I'm pleased enough to be able to represent today as the Communications and Networks Officer. So if we can just show the slides. There are just some nice stats for you, so you're kind of clued in. Lovely. And next up. So the reason why I wanted to share with you today some stories of our membership is that in IESEC we believe that the stories we tell determine the stories we live. And we thought that this is a very powerful and motivating thing for our organisation. And we really feel that with our 32,000 members around the world, representing their positive stories, we are a force for peace within the world, and we're excited to collaborate with organisations that have similar beliefs, such as EBBF. So there's just a handful of photos from across the world. As you can probably tell, IESEC is as much about fun as it is about activating leadership. So we've got there individuals from different countries gathering at our different conferences.
Including EBBF members on the bottom there.
Yes, Emmanuel, an EBBF member, excellent. You're in the corner.
Oh, really?
Never mind. Lovely. So the first story I'd like to share with you is Phil, who actually works in my office. Phil Ador is 23, the same age as myself, and he's originally from Kenya. Phil has facilitated over 75 international internships for young people. And Phil did this in Kenya last year, under the crunch of a political crisis. And I know I was listening to a presentation earlier where someone said, oh, you know, we might have difficulty extending our platform to Kenya, and sort of cringed, because the world news would tell you that country is a difficult place, you know, avoid, or we don't really want to talk about it. But Phil brought in 75 young people to experience transformative professional internships in the past year. So what does Phil have to say to us about the future? Phil feels that using technology is very important to create community business partnerships from his perspective. And I'm not only going to say what Phil told me, but I'm actually going to get Phil to speak himself, which is the next part. So if we can have the sound up.
You also put it down.
Oh, thank you. Okay, never mind.
Is that?
I may. I can restart that. Oops. Okay. How do I?
Go back.
Yeah, pull back. Okay. Is that working? No. Oh. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Okay. No worries. That's fine. So Phil unfortunately can't speak to us today. So that's one of the challenges of technology. Sometimes it doesn't work. But the exciting thing is I can connect you with Phil after. So my next story is Annika. Annika is from the USA. And Annika is working to connect young people in the Middle East and North Africa, committed to make a positive change in their community. I think Annika is a really interesting case, being an American in the Middle East. She's actually the director for this region, so she's responsible for, I think it's 13 countries: Oman, Bahrain, Qatar, Tunisia, Morocco, Egypt. And Annika is moving talent between those countries using our internship program. And she's working with leadership and learning in those countries to truly understand what it means to be a leader of the Middle East for the young people of that region. So Annika's message to us, when I went round and kind of interviewed her, she said that she thinks that moving talent in common interest issues is very important for the future. So being able to not only experience the issues that are important to you in your local community or the space in which you were born, but also to experience those issues in another country, and to be able to go to a place where it is that you can truly have an impact using your skills and competencies. Augusto last night said that God doesn't look at your passport. This is exactly what Annika believes, and she's very committed to doing that within the Middle East. So Annika is there with Zijan, who's actually Chinese and not Middle Eastern. So these are some of her friends from the Middle East. She's been lucky enough to live in Jordan and Egypt, as well as Cameroon and Ghana, in fact, in Africa. And that's, I think, where she brings this expertise and these ideas.